say that they have been redeemed, and who has seen their chains come falling off and live as those who dream a dream. That's me, I promise you. Here I am. Here I am. Here Who wants to rise up in the house of our God? Who wants to give the Lord a mighty shout? Who wants to be a pillar in His presence?
Hello, Open Door Church family. Call you guys blessed. Pastor Troy here, down here by Luckenbach, Texas, in the Kerrville area. Coming down here to see how we can continue to rescue the rescuers and kind of just to get an update on what's going on. And guys, it's exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ask or even think. In both directions, you know, the need is so great. My goodness, it's so tragic. And the response is so great. My goodness, it's so wonderful. And in the midst of all that, in that terrible tension, is where we stand. And I just want you to know, I just love you. And I praise God for everybody that supports our church and stands with us. And like, no, this is what we do. We are the hands and feet of King Jesus. You know, I love Texas, and I'm so glad that you do too. And I'm so happy whenever you stand with me and we rescue kids all over the world, or we rescue people in Africa, and you know, we recently just rescued a whole group of people, all this kind of stuff. And but look at how godly Texans have responded for Texas. Guys, look, we will continue to do this. This is not going to go away quick, but we are answering this great evil with the goodness of the Lord. So, from Luckenbach, Texas, I call you blessed in Jesus' name. I love y'all. Bye-bye.
Hello, family, Pulse family, blessings and peace on you, and welcome to another episode of The Pulse. Today we are talking about God's voice in strange places. I'm Shay Wilbur. I'm the media director of all things Troy Brewer Ministries and of this house, and I'm so excited that you have joined us today. We have some ministry updates from the front lines of what God is doing in and through this ministry. We're going to be throwing it back to one of our most watched and most talked about, most interacted with episodes of The Pulse, where we talk to our good friend Tony Merkel. And guys, we have new testimonies from our relief efforts here in Texas and a brand new rescue story that will shatter your heart and also encourage your soul. Because if we're sharing it with you, it's because it's a rescue story. It's a story of a child that has been rescued through this ministry. So I cannot wait to share it with you. And also, lastly, where in the world is Pastor Troy? Kind of like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? We're asking where in the world is Pastor Troy? He's obviously not here. We know where he is. We're going to share that with you in just a second because he's doing something really exciting today, something that he has been looking forward to for a long time. So we're praying for him, we're supporting him, and we will let you know where he is in just a bit. But first, welcome my good friend, Pastor Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm filling in. We
hold it down.
We got a MASH unit over here.
I know. I know. Rebecca normally is joining us. She actually wasn't feeling good today, so we're just say a quick prayer for Rebecca. We miss her, but Chris and I are holding it down.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of stuff going on. So, I think it's going to be a great, great show.
Yeah, speaking of holding it down, we've got Helen watching in the great country of Oklahoma, God's favorite country.
Oh, my goodness.
And Vicky in North Carolina. Yeah, Kathy in Georgia. But also, I just saw in the chat, Jennifer is celebrating her 30-year anniversary.
I was going to give her a shout out. I saw that too.
And she's watching the Pulse. Like, what are you doing?
She said they're watching it from the beach, which I love that.
Oh,
they're sitting on the beach watching the Pulse.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, what a great place to be watching. I kind of wish I was sitting on the beach.
Yeah, I'm going with beach too.
Doing the Pulse.
Yeah,
you know, we could bring this whole setup here, Taylor. Would that work?
You know what, Taylor? For tomorrow, put this in the back of your car.
We're headed to the beach. We'll tell Pastor Troy to meet us there. Pastor Troy's going to be back tomorrow. So we'll tell him to meet us there. Say, Pastor, how do you feel about moving this whole thing to the beach? So yeah, shout out and congrats on 30 years.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everyone. If you're watching, just throw your name in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout out if we can get to it. We also ask that you would like and share so that get this word out about everything that God is doing here through ODX and our ministry, Troy Brewer Ministries. God is doing some amazing things. And we want to shout out everyone that is watching. But when you share this feed, guess what? This gets in front of people that wouldn't normally maybe watch, or, maybe there's somebody next to you on the beach that needs to hear this. Share this with them. Send it to a friend. Let them know, hey, take a look at this podcast. Take a look at what God is doing right here at ODX. And as a reminder, we are, if this is your first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. We are a frontline ministry. We're sending funds all over the place where they're needed. You heard at the top, the show, Pastor Troy was in Texas. Mm-hmm. We're also continually not only rescuing kids, but raising them. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So to get involved, call that number on your screen, 877-413-0888. You can also go to troybrewer.com or odx.com. You can also mail P.O. Box 3775, Burleson, Texas, 76097.
Yes, and quick shout out. I think Pastor Gary McGibbons is watching from Ireland.
Let's go.
One of our good friends, ministry partners. You actually texted me this morning, and I'm going to text you back. So when I saw your name, I was like, oh, you know what? I might as well just tell him right here. Pastor Gary, I'm going to get back to you on what you texted me about. And it's actually, he's going to be joining us on an episode of The Pulse. So Pastor Troy was like, we got to get you into The Pulse. And
Absolutely.
He is, again, one of our really good friends. And if I remember correctly, his church was the church that used to be like a bar, like a biker bar.
That's so awesome.
And they turned it into a church. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have a crazy ministry there in Ireland. And
Troy said the people there were just fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're wild. Like they're like,
but that's like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love that. So yeah, Pastor Gary, I'll be chatting with you a little bit, and thanks for joining us. And I'm excited for our Pulse family to meet you here soon. But right now, so Pastor Troy obviously is not here, and he is on another podcast. They're filming. It's not a live podcast, but they are filming. He's on the Blurry Creatures podcast. And if you know Pastor Troy, he loves all things blurry. We talk about it all the time here on The Pulse, but they actually invited him to be on their show. Look at that set, by the way.
That set is like, we were talking about it before the show. Like, look at the Marty McFlys. And there's a Taco Bell.
A light bright. I see a light bright.
Where?
Light bright, light bright. Turn on the magical shining light.
Look at you.
It's for the 80s nostalgia.
So I see the Taco Bell cup right here
good.
and the Pepsi cups.
Yeah.
And you see the light bright.
Yeah. But he is on their podcast. And it's really cool because Pastor Troy has been a huge fan of Blurry Creatures, of their podcast. So when they invited him to be on, he was like, heck yeah. And of course, he couldn't go to Blurry Creatures without taking Ben along.
Oh, yeah.
And also Pastor Schwartz is with him too. So they are all going to get back tomorrow, and they're going to be on The Pulse fresh off of this Blurry Creatures trip. So of course, tomorrow's show is going to be great, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But we're excited. I can't wait to hear. And I also can't wait to hear the episode. I'll let you guys know when we know it's going to air.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I mean, we're big fans of Blurry Creatures. I've seen them on like Duck Dynasty. They went on their podcast.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No way.
And they not only do they get into like the paranormal world and stuff, but they also like it's very Jesus centered, and it's like
that's cool.
I love the tension between the two and the curiosity that goes along with it.
I wonder if Pastor Troy is going to come back and want to incorporate like nostalgia, random nostalgia things. Because after looking at their set, I'm like, man, they have like every board game from the 80s.
I know.
Like it looks so cool, so much fun. So I'm excited to hear how that goes. But so that's where Pastor Troy is. We miss him so much, but we are going to continue on. You're actually going to kind of get to hear from him today because In a little bit, we're going to show you guys an interview that Pastor Troy did with our good friend Tony Merkel. And again, it was one of our most watched episodes. And so we thought that would be a perfect time to throw it back to that, because also Tony Merkel is all about the blurry, all about the blurry thing. So it's, it's kind of the theme.
The next 2 days kind of got a blurry theme.
Exactly. It's going to be a blurry couple of days.
Yeah.
But listen, talking about relief efforts, Chris mentioned a little bit ago, we are a frontlines ministry, and our relief efforts are ongoing all across the globe. And one of them in particular, obviously so near and dear to our heart, is what's happening here in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the headlines have changed.
Yep.
It's a month after disaster. The news cycle is over, but there's still hurting people down there.
Yeah.
Just last week, our team brought, those 2 checks for the RV home.
Yeah.
And I forget the other one that happened. I think it was a retreat
to the full
center.
moon. Yeah, it was to the Full Moon Inn. So, and I believe, it was thousands and thousands of dollars. I know one was a $10,000 check. That's our friends who own the Full Moon Inn in Luckenbach. And Jenny's actually been on our show before. But so we gave them a check, and they've been a huge partner. We've been really equipping. That's kind of their whole area has been kind of our headquarters, where our food truck goes. And I love that shot. So you can even see some of the supplies in the background of that photo there. We have been donating so much food for all the first responders and those on the front lines. And I love that shot, man.
It speaks so much to our heart in rescuing the rescuers. These guys, we talk about disasters. These guys are living it.
Yeah.
And just kind of having a respite, like if it's Troy, Pastor Troy or one of our team just showing up and just like, hey, here's McDonald's, or,
totally.
Let's take a break. Let's talk. Let us go dig in the pile. Let us, do whatever you need us to do. That's rescuing the rescuer. That's very indicative of who we are.
Yeah, it really is. And so not only have we been doing that, we've been bringing supplies. We've also been bringing machinery down to help with the search and recovery. And so even our own pastor of disaster, as Pastor Troy calls him, Pastor Chris Lee, has been down there. This is actually one of the, I don't know, is that
it's a brand new skid steer.
I was going to say, is it a skid steer? I don't know. My 6-year-old would know. But that's one of the pieces of machinery that we brought down there. And we've been literally helping the first responders there go through this stuff. And the stories have been tragic, but the reality is, like you said, like the news headlines have moved on, but people's lives are shattered.
Yeah.
And they need, it's always like the first week after a big catastrophe. Everyone's involved. Everyone throwing
cares.
money. Everyone cares. But then what happens when, again, the news cycle changes, people have moved on. There's other things to think about. There's other things happening around the world, but they are still left. And so I just love that we don't forget.
Yeah, we help them
We're
rebuild
in the
their
long
lives.
haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will be. Like, we will be
A year
there.
from now or 6 months from now, whatever, like we're still going to be there. And listen, we're not going back and collecting our generators. We're not going back and saying, hey, you know what? No, it's yours. Take it.
Yeah. We're giving it all away. And that's the heart of this ministry. I mean, we get in there, and I like to say we get our hands dirty. Like, we're actually doing it. We're not just talking about doing it or sending money to other people who are doing it, which is a great thing to do. And we couldn't do what we do without you supporting us. So thank you so much for everyone who supports us. And if you want to continue to partner with us, if you want to get involved in these relief efforts, you can call the number on your screen, 877-413-0888. Or go to troybrewer.com and click give. When you partner with us, this is just a glimpse at one aspect of our ministry. Another huge aspect of our ministry is our rescues. And we have rescue centers all over the world. We have over 51 homes all across the globe, from Africa, Cambodia, and Nepal. Pastor Leanna is actually in like Indonesia, I think today, or India. I mean, visiting some of our homes there, actually launching a school there, dedicating a school there in one of those countries. Literally, she's visiting over the next couple weeks. She's visiting like 6 or 7 different nations. It's wild.
Yeah, you got to keep up with her social media, because
I cannot. Yeah.
Like when she was in Japan and then like jumped over, and it's like we're kind of following it like on the map, and it's like,
we're like, where in the world is Pastor Leanna now? It's literally to keep it track of where Pastor Troy and Pastor Leanna are, but they just go where the Lord has called them. And we have a new rescue story from just this past week, and man, it is one that like seriously wrecked me. And I'm glad that we didn't know about it until she was fully rescued and like in our care, because it would be too much. And I will issue a warning on this, because we shared it at our church services, and Pastor Troy issued a warning as well. If you're sensitive about these things, about human trafficking, about abuse, and you might want to just like mute for a second. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Just mute for a second. But I promise you, this has a really good ending. So we have this new rescue. Her name is Maria, and this is a picture of her. That is actually her smiling, and that's her now in our care. So there you go. There's the proof that this has a great ending, because this is her now. This is the redemption. But it's a 9-year-old little girl, and she lived in Colombia with her mom, her dad, and her 4-year-old brother. Well, her mom took her and her little brother to Brazil to visit some family there. I'm going to try to get through this without getting emotional, but the house that they were staying at in Brazil was broken into by 3 men who assaulted her mom, and her little brother. And she actually witnessed her mother and her little brother's lives being taken. And I'm saying it very nicely, but just what she actually witnessed was the most horrific thing I could even imagine. And she's 9 years old. And so she was able to escape from the home and run. And unfortunately, the men caught up to her in the street, and they assaulted her again. And they actually stabbed her in the neck. You can even see in the picture, if you want to put that picture up, you can see a little scar, it's actually in the center of her neck. See that?
Holy, yeah.
Yeah. She's got a little scar right there in the center. They stabbed her in the neck and left her for dead. And praise the Lord, she wasn't dead. That was not the end of her life. And God had an incredible redemption story that he was going to be writing through her. Well, she managed to walk to a nearby village where people in the village found her, obviously found this little girl so traumatized, and it was shocking. It was a miracle she was even alive. They took her to a hospital where she got treated. As soon as she recovered, she was able to ID the men, because it was actually someone that the family had ties to. Oh. So she was able, I can't even comprehend this level of evil, but she was able to identify them, thank God, and they were able to get them. Her father, who this whole time was back in Colombia, came to get her. And here he is now, this single dad. His wife is gone. His 4-year-old son is gone. He's having to work and raise this daughter. And the case was actually really high profile.
Keep her safe.
Yeah. And he felt like, you know what, I cannot offer her the safety that she needs. This has been a high profile case. Now I'm a single dad. My wife is, and he was just shattered. And he actually said this about her, because he knew that, number one, she needed to be in a home that was safe, but not only that, secure. And this is what brought him to us. This is how they got connected to us, because authorities knew about us, knew about the work that we do in the nations. This is because we've been doing it for 30 years.
It's a reputation that goes with it.
Exactly. Exactly. And so they reached out to us, and this is what he said to us. He said, she is a miracle from God, and I want her to be raised by God's people to find her purpose.
I love that.
And man, I just got chills when I saw that, because it is really, this is a very unique situation. And I think with other situations, I would probably judge and be like, well, how could he do that? But he knew, I just so believe this is part of God's plan. And he knew that she would be better off in our hands and being raised.
Yeah.
And she has a family with us now, and she will be taken care of. And protected. She'll be safe. She'll be secure. And man, I'm so excited to hear the testimonies that the Lord is going to do in and through her. And the fact that she's already smiling, this is what gets me, because we all go through stuff. We've all gone through hard things. And I think so often we tend to wear our scars. And here's a girl who quite literally, out of anyone, could be wearing her scars, in her whole countenance. Yeah. And like, look at her face.
It's the joy of the Lord.
Yeah, it's seriously a supernatural thing. And that's the goodness of God. This is the work, the real stuff that we do, guys. This is just one story from this past week. And it's not even the only story from this past week, because we have these homes all over the globe. Yeah. And so, man, I just want to encourage you, if you have felt, I hear all the time from people who are like, man, I've always wanted to get involved in someone who's rescuing kids from human trafficking. And I'm like, you want to know who's doing it? We're doing it. We have the stories, we have the pictures every single week. And it's just so rewarding to know that this is what we're a part of.
Troy said something that was very interesting. I don't remember if it was on the Pulse or if it was in a sermon, but he said, there's a lot of people that go out and raise money and awareness, which honestly, for me, kind of being still the new kid on the block in a lot of ways, like I knew human trafficking existed, and Gene and I supported, every time like we'd see an ad or something, we're moved and we're like, okay, but nobody was actually doing it. Like you never heard like the frontline stories.
Totally.
And that's the one thing, Troy said last week. He's like, hey, these guys are doing their job and bringing awareness, which is all good and fine, but we're the boots on the ground.
Yeah. And what's so cool is, we have been doing it for so long, and we're going to show a video here in a second from one of our homes. But what is really cool about this video is the first time since I've been here that we actually were able to capture some of the rescues themselves talking. And every other trip that I've been on where we visited this specific home that you're going to see in the video, I've been there many times. And, the kids are happy and they're playing, but they're still traumatized. They've still been through a lot. And so it hasn't been the right time to, try to get them on camera. We are very sensitive. When we go to these homes, even with the cameras, very often we're just hanging back. We're not even capturing. We're there to capture what we can, but we're very sensitive because these are kids that have been through hell and back.
They've already been exploited. We're
Exactly.
we're not there to put a camera in their face.
We are not. And so we are very sensitive to that. But I was just so moved when we came back with this video, and these kids were so happy to share and say thank you for rescuing us, for bringing us to this home, and their lives are transformed. And now we're seeing, where they've come to a place of health where they're able to, begin to just say thank you. We're not asking them their stories. We're not asking them to relive anything because they are so young. So young. Like some of them are 10 years old. Some of them are 12, 15, 17, and they've been through a lot. So we're not going to ask them. We're not going to, like you said, further traumatize them. But just know that I like to set this video up knowing that, because it really changes and it makes it so much more impactful that, like, wow, it's amazing to see that growth.
Something we're all part of.
Yeah, we really are. It's so cool. So guys, take a look at this, and then we'll be back with you in a sec.
El pastor Troy me ha dado un hogar y una casa. Y este es mi peluche favorito.
Pues yo le doy tantas gracias al pastor Troy porque él me dio un techo en donde vivir, porque me dio amor. Él me está ayudando a crecer, a ser yo misma. Yo le doy tantas gracias y que lo amo muchísimo.
Well, here we are in Mexico City.
Yes, we're back.
And we're here at one of our rescue centers. So we get here, we go inside the door, and then boom, they have this great big presentation for us, like Papa Troy and Mama Leanna. They kiss us, they hug us. They got special things that they made for us.
Para mí, Papá Troy me ha regalado una nueva oportunidad, me ha regalado un hogar, una familia, amor y una nueva oportunidad de ser activista.
El pastor Troy me ha dado muchas oportunidades, como estar en una casa muy buena.
Papá Troy me ha ayudado mucho.
De verdad he tenido aquí el tiempo de estudiar, de jugar,
comprarles cosas a Michelle, que la consientan mucho.
Se logró hacer mi fiesta de 15 años.
Por él está creciendo mucho la casa.
Porque me dio un techo.
Y estoy mejor que allá afuera.
Nada por amor.
Aprender a leer.
Con mi bebé y conmigo.
No nos falte comida.
Tener una familia.
Isn't that great? I love watching kids just be kids on that. Like they're just having fun. Like that one little boy's just running I can't tell if he's chasing the soccer ball or, you know, he's
Yeah.
playing tag or something, but it's so sweet. And that is what raising, not just rescuing,
not
looks
just
like.
rescuing.
You know, so now they've got a place where they've got a yard. Like, think about that, like, you know, versus where they were. And now they've got a space that, hey, they can just be a kid. And I think that's it's so simple, but it's also so dynamic to what we do.
It's amazing.
I want to encourage any of you that are just joining us, you know, hey, we are on the front lines at not just rescuing, but as you saw in that video, raising kids all over the world. We'd like you to get part. All you got to do is call the number on your screen, 877-413-0888. You can go to troybrewer.com. You can go to odx.tv. You can also snail mail, P.O. Box 3775, Burleson, Texas, 76097. Now, we've got Tony Merkel coming up in just a minute, but we had him a few weeks ago. So if you're into Blurry, you know, like kind of the crazy, man, jump back a couple weeks ago. He's such a cool guy, and he's a Philly guy. So like he did not.
You're a wannabe Philly guy.
I am a wannabe Philly guy.
Actual Philly girl, but I love it. Anyone who loves Philly, I like. So
there
it's
you
okay.
go.
You're grafted in.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. Exactly. And didn't he talk about, if I remember correctly, when we had him on, he talked about how he got into all this Blurry stuff in the first place. And he shared the craziest story
about the guy
that.
in the dock.
Yeah, about the guy. The guy when he went to the guy's house. Remember?
Yeah. Well, he met him on a dock at like a delivery.
Yes.
And then he went to the guy's house and was like, oh, yeah.
It was a crazy story. You have to go back and watch it. If you're a Tony fan, because I have a feeling after this interview, you're going to want more on Tony. And he's just such a great guy also.
He's a normal dude.
He's such a cool dude. And like, if you want more Tony content, start with our interview with him just a couple weeks ago.
Tony's also going to be part of the counter that's coming up. And that's going to be really great as well. And while he was here, like we got to hang out with him. And like you were saying, he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
You know,
that loves the supernatural. And because of that, I think the Lord gives him the opportunity to like hang in that realm.
Yeah. And then, you know, tomorrow, so we tease this a little bit, but tomorrow we're going to have Ben, Pastor Troy, and they're coming fresh from Blurry Creatures. And we are going to get into all things Blurry. So if you're watching, throw in the comments. We'll copy and paste it. We'll put it into our show notes for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. If you have questions.
Your Blurry questions, like, you know, your Bigfoot encounter, I don't know.
Whatever it is. Because listen, we are not going to try to answer those questions. Chris and I know better. This is Troy, Pastor Troy, Ben. If Schwartz is here, I'm sure he'll get roped into it too. This is their area of expertise. We're just over here taking notes. So if you have questions for them about all the Blurry things, definitely put them in the comments. That's a perfect idea.
And we'll grab them for tomorrow.
Yeah, we will pull them for tomorrow and we'll let them know, hey guys, we got some questions for you. You're fresh back from Blurry Creatures. Here you go. But yeah, in the meantime, let's throw it back. So this is an interview with Pastor Troy and Tony Merkel at NRB. And we had so many fun interviews when we went there, and we had been rolling them out over the past couple months, but you guys really loved this one. Now it was only 15 minutes. I actually wish it was longer because I just love when Tony and Pastor Troy get together to talk. But take a look at this and then we'll be back on the other end.
But to have Tony Merkel on here from the confessionals, Tony, I want to welcome you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I can't believe we're sitting here together.
I can't either. I can't believe you talk about me like that.
I do. No, I love you. I love you, man. And I listen to your stuff. So I know that a lot of people that's plugged into me will know who you are. I also know that there's a lot of people that are watching that won't know. And so you're going to have to help me. How in the world? Number one, you have a paranormal broadcast. Do you call it a paranormal broadcast?
In recent years, I've been transitioning to a supernatural because when I first started the podcast 8 years ago, it was
8 years ago.
Yeah, it was a much different show.
Oh, you're a groundbreaker.
No, God is, because I was a truck driver. I was driving my tractor trailer through Philadelphia, and the Holy Spirit spoke. I wasn't even praying. The Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, you're going to be a podcaster, and you're going to work alongside a guy named Wes Germer from Sasquatch Chronicles. I listened to that podcast, but I never talked to him before. And so I was in the habit of when the Holy Spirit would speak to me, I would go home and I would tell my wife what the Lord said, because she needs to be my witness, because when the Lord speaks to me, it happens. Awesome. And so about a month goes by, I backed my tractor trailer into the dock at work, and I get a Facebook phone call on my phone at 8:30 at night from this guy named Wes Germer, and he's talking to me for about 45 minutes, and he said, I think you'd be a good podcaster. And I was like, here we go. And the rest is history. So God broke the ground. I didn't break anything.
How long have you been saved? When did you get saved?
I was raised in the church, And most of my life I spent having my parents as spiritual crutches. And so I never truly had a groundbreaking experience with the Lord until March 29, 2014. I was rebounding in my marriage. I had just come off a really bad season in my life where I was, me and my marriage almost ended, and it was my fault. And so all I cared about that time in my life was to love God. Or no, I'm sorry, this is before that. All my concern is to make a lot of money and love my wife. And I was trying to become a nicer person because I had guys who were truck drivers for 30 years telling me that I was a really mean person. And they were like, you're mean. And I was in my 20s, and I was like, I don't want to be a mean guy. And so I was trying to be nice. And but I didn't want to do it with God. It didn't cross my mind. March 29th, 2014, I was supposed to be at a wedding, my friend's wedding. That same day was a funeral. My wife's uncle had a funeral. And I was going to go to the wedding, and she was going to go to the funeral, but she didn't like that idea. So I went to the funeral with her. I didn't want to be in a church where it's emotional and things like that. I didn't want anything to do with the emotional side of church. Well, her other uncle's a Baptist pastor, and during that service, he stood up and started preaching the gospel, and my face got red, the blood pressure started rising. I was angry. I was like, why are you talking about the salvation right now? This is a funeral. I was so angry. And in that moment, the Holy Spirit, for the first time in my life I've ever had this experience, it was like God singled me out in the entire universe and said to me, you don't need a change to come to me, just come to me and I'll change you. And it took everything in me that day to not just break down at a funeral crying. And I get in the car to leave, and my wife, she's propped up against the door on the passenger side, just staring at me, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm good. I just didn't know what happened to me. I got wrecked. And that started a transformation because all I wanted to do was go home after work and read my Bible. I started driving my tractor trailer 12, 14 hours a day, just listening to sermons and just trying to understand my Maker. I had this like strong hunger for that. And that just progressed into a whole chapter of my life of just pursuing the Lord. So to answer your question, in 2014 is when I truly yielded my life over to the Lord, and nobody can talk me off of it. I don't care what you say.
Come on, man.
You know? So, yeah.
Well, so it wasn't very long after that you actually started the confessionals.
Yeah, it was March 19th, 2017, first episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so you got on a fast track once you got right with the Lord.
Yeah.
Right on. So when you first started off, you were just talking, so you were like, it was basically like a Bigfoot show,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about these people that had these sightings and these encounters,
yeah,
and this craziness. And then what happened? What happened to your show? I mean, what happened?
It was a progression. So when I started this, all I had as a direction was God said, do it. That's it. That's all I had.
Wait a minute. You're telling me God told you to start a podcast about Bigfoot?
God told me I was going to start a podcast and I was going to work alongside a guy named Wes Germer who was doing Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I was into that topic at the time. I had a Facebook group, and I think that's how he found me.
Yep.
And so I was like, I guess this is where we're going with it, but I didn't know. And Wes told me, he said, if I were you, I would do more than just Bigfoot. He said, that's one of the things that I regret is I called my show Sasquatch Chronicles. I can't do anything outside of that topic.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, I'll do more than that. And so I started, my second episode was a UFO. The third one was the Hat Man. The fourth one was Nephilim. And so I started do it right from the beginning, doing different things. And so as the show progressed, though, I started hearing people's experiences that they went through. And, you know, they're not all Christian. In fact, a lot of them weren't Christians in the beginning.
Right.
And they're sharing their experience with me from their worldview, their perspective, and I believe they've had these experiences. I just don't agree with how they view it all the time.
Right.
And so they're sharing these things, and I'm picking these things up, and I'm thinking to myself, if that's true, if what they experience is true, how does that fit in with my theological perspective, which forced me to start expanding my mindset on things and looking at the Bible and trying to understand how this all fits together in a way that I never had anybody teach me before. And I started finding people like Dr. Michael Heiser, who recently passed away.
Oh yeah, no, I love Michael Heiser.
And I started, my mind started being molded and changing. And then as I picked up more people's stories and they're adding new elements, it's like a puzzle piece, I started realizing how complex the supernatural realm is. And I started realizing that this is way more than just people's experiences. And I started understanding that, yes, we talk to people about their experiences, but we also, it's a podcast where it's documenting my journey of discovery and understanding when it comes to how complex the supernatural realm is, what's going on, and how we interact with that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. Never said this publicly, but Jerry Sellers is here. He's right here. My son, Benjamin Allen Brewer, is here. And I'm going to tell you, we were in Chiapas, Mexico, and on a mountain, we saw a giant.
Really?
I'm talking about a big one. I'm not talking about a 9-footer, 10-footer. I'm talking about mid-20s. Not for a glimpse, not a second. For about 25 minutes, I stared at it. It did not rattle my faith one bit.
No.
Because I already know how to process all this. In fact, I was actually, all these people were praying for me. We were on this prayer mountain, and this thing came up over the ridge, and it was the next ridge over. This known for having giants in the area. There's big giant footprints everywhere in the rock down there and all this craziness. Even at the hotel, there was a big giant footprint. They had this rock that has a giant human footprint in it. And it also has the largest Mayan ruins on the planet Earth is there, and it's privately owned. And we went to it. The guy that owns it, it's the largest Mayan pyramid on the entire planet Earth. It's all right there.
Jeez.
And yeah, we went out there, which I got to tell you all about that and the craziness that happens there. But we went to this prayer mountain, all these pastors meeting with me. We all got there, they were all praying for me. So all this, like 40 pastors, and they're all praying, and they're all speaking in Spanish. I can see Jerry and I can see my son Ben. We're all standing there minding our own business. And they're all praying. And I see on the next, there's a big valley and there's a ridge in front of me. And I see this thing come up over the ridge and stand next to this tree. And as the tree sways, it sways exactly however the tree's, and it like mimics it. And I'm just sitting there, man, and I'm just looking at this thing. And I'm like, wow, I saw it come up. I actually saw it come up. And it's staring us down from the next mountain over, and it's staring. I can tell how big it is because of that tree. And it's no joke. I mean, it's no joke. And we're just sitting there, and I told Ben, I said, Ben, while they're praying for me, I'm like, yes, Lord, because they're all praying for me. I'm like, Ben, like what? He's like, yeah, he's praying too. I was like, there's a giant on that hill over there. He's like, where? I'm like, right over there. We're praying, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Ben turns around, he goes, oh my, like King Jesus. I'm like, I know.
Wow.
And when Ben turned around and looked at it, the tree moved and it froze. And so it knew what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to tell you this. I started talking to it, and I was talking like this level. Now, there's no way anything can actually hear me. That thing is a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I see you, you devil, and there's nothing you can do about this. We're here. We're not going away. We're rescuing kids. We're doing everything that Jesus wants us to do, and there's not a thing in the world that you can do about it.
Wow.
You can either move or you can go to hell. And I'm talking in this voice. And then it started doing this. And I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, I want you to softly turn around. He said, why? And I said, because there is something, a giant on the top of that hill, and I've been looking at it for 20, 30 minutes. And Jerry turned around and went, oh my gosh. And man, when he did, that thing kind of stood up like this, and it just turned around and like in just a couple of strides.
Unbelievable.
The guys just kept right on praying. Power of God's moving. Holy Spirit's moving. All kinds of craziness. And they're just like, so I asked them, we're on this prayer mountain. And I said, you guys ever have like crazy things shown? The pastor's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you ever had like giants in this region like that? He goes, yeah. He goes, there's one that lives on that mountain right over there. That was the mountain that I actually saw it on.
Wow.
And I was like, well, again, did not rock my faith in any way whatsoever. It caused me to rethink some things, caused me to go, oh. But see, this is my, and I'll quit talking.
It's supporting evidence.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
That's what you need to look at it as.
As it was in the days of Noah, man.
Yes.
And there it is. We're living in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
And we're rescuing children there because so many kids are being trafficked and so many kids are actually disappearing.
Wow.
And it is craziness. And so the kids all have stories about it. The kids have a story and all the witchcraft that goes with all that kind of stuff. Well, dude, I kept coming across that, and I couldn't deny it anymore. And it would be the same stories in Uganda as it was in Mexico, and the same stories in Guatemala, and the same stories down in South America, same stories in India, the ritualization, the mess that they've gone through, and how things manifest and what would manifest around them was, yeah, those kids are not lying.
Yeah.
And as Michael Heiser used to say, if just one of them is telling the truth, then it busts the entire paradigm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So no, you asked Jerry. Hey, Jerry, did we see a giant in Mexico? Okay, there it is. Yeah, so no, man, and once you start to see this thing, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And so my question is not if there's, when someone says, hey, you know, do you believe in aliens? Do you think that there's aliens? Do you think that there's giants? My question is it of God's camp or not?
Right.
We'll figure out the rest of it.
Yep.
I just want to know, is that God's camp or is it not?
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, there's a whole big disclosure movement going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to really start considering what's actually happening. Because one, people who I'll call the normies, they don't have any paradigm to fit this in. So it's all new to them. They don't think about UFOs. They don't think about aliens. And all of a sudden, their government's saying, there's real things happening here. But the interesting thing about this is, and I've been telling this to everybody I can tell to, we've been living in a culture for generations has been divorcing itself from God. We've been living in a society where the leadership has been telling us and brainwashing children since they're in elementary school that evolution is the way to go. There is no God. There is no creation. That same structure is now rolling out a supernatural disclosure where they're telling people these are NHIs, non-human intelligence. They're here, but they're not really here. And they're trying to mold people into this understanding of a supernatural existence, but they're doing it in a way that's going to steer people towards New Age, this new religion, and not towards Christianity, towards God. And so right now, we're all the people that are here are uniquely qualified to be living in this time to stand the gap. And that's what's happening right now. There are people out there who have had very real, tangible experiences, and their perception of it has been skewed for many different reasons. And there are ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses that are returning through these situations.
Yes, absolutely.
And people are starting to preach their gospel to it.
Yeah, so Jonathan Cahn, who is one of the most credible people in the world, he came out with his book, the Return of the Gods.
Yes.
These little G gods that was created by God Almighty, right? All these little G gods, but the God Almighty has a heavenly family and he has an earthly family. And there has been incursions in both of those, multiple incursions in both of those realms. And these are the days that they're returning. I mean, if you look at the book of Revelation, man, I mean, an army comes up out of the earth.
Yes.
And it is literally like an orc army.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, wow. And it is,
Sharpen your swords, friends.
Yeah, get ready
it's
because
game time.
This is the new norm.
Yeah.
Tony Merkel, how do people find your stuff? And I can't wait for people to start going, what the? And they're going to go there. How do they do that?
So there's many different things that I'm involved in. The main gig is the Confessionals podcast, and they can find it on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere. But also we have merkelfilms.com, where I have a streaming service where we distribute different independent creators' content. And we're just doing a lot of different things. And, I'm excited to see what God's doing in my life. There might be a book coming around the corner, so I never thought I'd say that. People told me for years I should write a book. I'm like, I'm not writing a book. I'm a podcaster. Well, God has other plans, I think, so we'll see how things go.
Will you please zoom in and do a show with me soon? Will you do that?
Absolutely.
I know I'm coming out to your place.
Yeah.
And where is your place?
Knoxville.
Yeah, so Knoxville, Tennessee. I know I'm coming out.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it, it's going to be amazing. But I want to do a show with you. There's some things I want to talk to you about that I weren't able to get to today.
Yeah.
Gosh, Tony Merkel, what a privilege, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for loving Jesus the way you do in this and still being involved in this whole realm. That's a big deal to me. The next person we're about to have up, she's very involved in the whole political thing. And dude, she looks and smells like Jesus.
Amen.
And for you to be in this realm and to look and to smell like Jesus is a big deal, brother. Way to go, man.
It's very humbling.
Wow, I just realized, I think that was the first time Pastor Troy actually ever interviewed Tony.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time they actually met in person, and then he interviewed it, because I feel like now he's like family. We've had him on the show a couple times.
He's been here. We were there when he was setting up everything with the publisher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like part of our tribe now. So it's cool that was the first interview. And yeah, him and Pastor Troy, they just like click so well. And is he going to be at that conference coming up, or is that just Pastor Troy?
Yeah, so Tony Merkel and all of things Blurry are going to be at BlurryCon coming up on October 31st and November 1st. and I believe it's in Tennessee. Franklin, yeah, there it is. Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, Taylor, are you going to that? It's in your
that's
your
Taylor's
favorite
hood.
city.
Yeah.
But yeah, first of all, can we just take a moment and look at Pastor Troy in the background? That like AI Western version of Pastor Troy. It's so good. It is so good. But Tom Doyle, Dr. Joel Mudamel, I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah, Joel Richardson. I'll go the easy one.
Yeah. Dr. Laura Sanger, she's been on the show. Derek Olson, Tony Merkel, Doug Van Doren, Travis Roy from Giants of Ancient America, Judd Burton, and Josh Garrels. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's October 31st to November 1st. Tickets are on sale. I believe they're still on sale, and I'm sure that is going to be a wild time.
Oh, and you know, the thing with Blurry that is interesting to me is like, as a pastor, like, so when you do your Bible study classes and stuff, there's not a lot of room for like, you know, all the blurry things. Like, where does aliens fit? Where does Bigfoot fit into?
Totally.
Like, you can't be like sitting there, hey, we're going to study Old Testament survey. And like, sir, the pyramids.
What
like,
about,
what? No. Shh.
Yeah.
And, you know, but as pastors, we talk about this stuff like behind the scenes. What other ministry like is like not afraid to say, hey, here's our take, you know, it kind of lets you in to see things. And that's why I like the counter so much, that we're working on the show right now. It's coming out this fall, and we got some of the best: Joseph Z, Tony Merkel.
Oh yeah. Alan DiDio.
Alan DiDio's there.
Darren Stott, Brian Schwartz.
And of course, Troy Brewer.
And of the one and only.
The one and only.
Well, and what's really cool about the show, we can show some of the pictures if you have them. I didn't give Taylor much of a heads up about that, but sorry, Taylor. But
Jesus.
You know, I remember when Pastor Troy, it was like when I first worked here, and Pastor Troy was like, man, I have this idea for this show where I get all these guys and we talk about the stuff no one else wants to talk about, that we should be talking about, the stuff that most churches or people stay away from. And he's like, you know, we'll get like some of the greatest minds together and we shoot this. And I remember when he first pitched it to me, I was like, how on earth are we going to do this? What is it going to look like? What's it going to be called? Who's going to be involved? How are we going to pull this off here? And it's so incredible to see how God like really helped us do it all. And Taylor was a huge part of that. He brought in who's now our good friend, Andre, to help. I mean, we had like a full, in one of those pictures, you can kind of see the setup, but we had like full, I mean, that was on our stage at the church. So we just worked with what we had here. We brought in these guys and we had a full setup of lights and all the things. You can see that one light there. I feel like there was another picture, Taylor, where you can see more like the behind the scenes.
And it's crazy. You would think like, hey, a church stage, particularly a modern church, it should be easy to do a show on, but it's not, because it's lit for singers. You're lighting it for instruments and band and speakers to put everybody on stage. Like, this is like a whole TV studio.
It was
transformed. Taylor, it was awesome. They did a great job.
They did such a good job. It was so fun. But not only that, I mean, they tackled issues that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
So many different things, from like dreams to obviously the supernatural portals. Half the time I was scratching my head. And as I've been like editing these, I'm like, wow, really? Like, it's crazy. It's really going to blow the lid off of a lot of things. And I think answer a lot of questions.
It's not your typical Bible study. It's not let's do a deep dive in the book of Romans. No, this is like, hey, I saw a green thing. Here's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Here's how it reckons up.
Here's a picture of it, by the way.
Here's a picture.
Like literally, I mean, Tony Merkel even talks about seeing, having a photo that shows a portal essentially. And we have that photo. It's wild. You guys, it's wild. We have a little teaser. Let's take a look at this right now.
We have spent 2 full days filming here, guys, and now we're going to begin the editing process. But the unedited version, guys, is going to be camped out at odx.tv.
Nations going against nations.
What we're seeing actually unleashed on the earth right now.
It's this hopeful expectation.
There's something charging directly at us.
Anytime the name of Jesus was mentioned, these beings would flee in terror.
Bell worship, sex magic, human trafficking, pornography. It's actually all a part of the very same things. And friends, we are not afraid to talk about it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I just love all the teasers for it. There's nothing like it, truly. And what's cool is like, we're going to be hosting, like the show itself is going to be on YouTube the first 30 minutes, but to get the full uncensored, because we are having to censor a lot for YouTube, the full uncensored version will be only on ODX.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And ODX, like if you're not familiar with, like it's our own kind of platform, but we've got unique content that can get censored on different platforms for different reasons. We were just talking about before the show, like some of the things that are getting censored is not fun to deal with because we're having to like, you got to send things back and then like, oh, maybe we'll approve this. And it's like, come on, we need a platform that we can discuss political ideas, these crazy orbs and Bigfoot and all these things, and not have to worry about being censored. So with a counter, you're going to see, like Shay was saying, you're going to see the whole thing, or you're going to see the whole thing on ODX and only part on YouTube. But when you join ODX, you get behind the scenes, you get the uncensored cut.
Yeah, you get even messages from Pastor Troy. I mean, he does these exclusive, like for stage 3 in particular on ODX, because we have just regular ODX stage 2 and then stage 3. And then you can also get a lifetime membership, which gives you lifetime access to everything on ODX, which is also our conferences, stuff like that. But a lot of times Pastor Troy will do messages just for, like he'll be driving here in the morning and say, hey, this is what God's speaking to me. Or, hey guys, be praying for me. I'm about to take off. Yeah. Or shaving. One day he was literally shaving. And I was like, that's kind of amazing. I love that he did that. It was really funny. It was like up close and personal with Pastor Troy for sure. But we just want to encourage you, if you haven't joined, if you're watching us on YouTube, this has actually been a special episode because we have been on YouTube the whole time. We didn't go what we call behind the veil at all. And that's when we jump over to be ODX exclusive. But if you have enjoyed it, this is like, if you've enjoyed this, just wait till Pastor Troy's back and you will love it. And wait till he's here tomorrow, especially. So make sure you come back. But if you've been thinking about it, now is a great time to join the ODX family because we have the counter, which will be launching this fall. And you are not going to want to miss any of it. I'm telling you, again, as I've been editing these episodes, it's going to be a cliffhanger. If you're watching it on YouTube, you're going to want to head over to ODX to finish the episode because you're not going to want to miss one moment of it.
Yeah, and ODX has got some great content too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like that Troy does is these star parties.
Yeah, the heavenly happening stuff.
Yeah. So what he's done every month, he filmed and talks about like what's going on in the stars and what that can prophetically mean to us as believers. And one of those things is heavenly happenings. And they come out in the first month and they're exclusive and early access on ODX only.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we actually have that. Taylor, you got that loaded up? Why don't we take a look at one of these heavenly happenings?
Well, welcome guys. This is the month of August and we got a lot of good reasons to look up this month. I'm Troy Brewer and this is Heavenly Happenings. Okay, so anytime I get to looking in the heavens, I'm always like, okay, when is the full moon? When is the new moon? Is there a meteor shower? And what does the stars look like? And there's going to be a couple of really cool things that's going to happen this month that I would encourage you not to miss. Okay, August the 9th is when your big full moon is going to be happening. Now remember, the big full moon nights are not the night that you want to go out to see all the stars. It's the night that you want to go out to see the full moon, and that's going to happen on August the 9th. Now, if you want to see the new moon, that actually happens on the 23rd of August. Now, a lot of folks don't know what a new moon is. It's actually the new beginning of the solar cycle, and it is not when the moon is full. It's actually when you can't see it at all. Like, what? Yeah, you know what? Whenever it comes to the Hebrew calendar, they actually do things so opposite of the Western world. It's like for us, a moon cycle would start when it's at its brightest. For us, a day starts whenever the sun comes up. For them, it's exactly opposite. The sun going down is when the day begins. And by the way, that was God's design. That's what the book of Genesis actually says. And it says, and then the sun went down and it was a new day. Like, what? Yeah, God likes to start off with building momentum for hope. He always wants to make sure that the worst thing is never the last thing. I just love that about King Jesus. It's just so awesome. Another cool thing that you don't want to miss in the month of August is the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. Now, Venus is big and bright, right? And Jupiter is big and bright. But I want to tell you what's crazy is it looks like to us that they're both about the same size. Maybe Venus looks a little bit bigger, but of course that's not the case. And it's certainly not the case that they are beside each other. So you guys know that it is about 100 million miles or 96 million miles from here to the sun, right? From here to Jupiter is 4 times that.
It's like going to the sun 4 times. That's how far away dadgum Jupiter is. It's way, way, way out there. And that's how big it is too. It's so huge, and it has no light of itself. You're actually looking at the sun's light go all the way out there and then light up Jupiter and then bounce all the way back to my little blue eyes as I gaze at it. Okay. On this date, you can go outside, and what you can actually see is you can see Jupiter, you can see Venus together, and they're right there by each other, and they're just beautiful. So you will be looking like just after sundown or just before sunrise on the 9th. Now, I want to fast forward all the way to the very end of the month. Number one, I've got to tell you this, no matter what you're doing on August the 17th, stop what you're doing, give God Almighty glory and praise, because that is Davy Crockett's birthday. All right, now, if you can get past the glorious event of Davy Crockett's birthday, you go all the way to August the 31st, which, by the way, is also my brother Todd's birthday. Hey, Todd, love you, man. Call you blessed. August 31st. Do you know what's going to happen? Man, NASA and the SpaceX boys are teamed up together because they are sending this thing all the way to Jupiter to explore the icy moons around Jupiter. Stop. I was just corrected, actually. It's the European Space Agency, which I guarantee you is funded by America and has American parts. I mean, come on. Okay, I'm back. So the Europeans are actually going to get together and do something besides allow the Muslims to invade their nations. And while they are doing this, they're actually sending this really cool, it's an explorer, and it's actually going to go hook up with the moons around Jupiter and explore their makeup. What are they like? Because they all have different atmospheres. They're made of different elements. It's crazy cool. And you know how they're going to get it there? They're flying this thing, of course, from Earth, again, funded by, I'm sure, the United States of America. And then it's going to go from here all the way to Venus, which is a whole lot closer to the sun. And then it's going to fly around, and it's going to and it's going wow, and it's literally going to spin so that it can take off with more speed. They're going to use the gravitational force of Venus to not only take a couple of pictures, can't snap, but then it's going to take off and it's going to go all the way to Jupiter. Now, what's crazy is, again, the sun is one way, Jupiter is the other way, and we're talking about a long ways apart. How in the world could they be doing that? Because, yeah, it's a long ways, but it's actually not the other way if Jupiter is on the other side of the sun. So, and it will be, of course, because you can see Jupiter and you can also see Venus at the same time, meaning you're actually seeing Jupiter not on this side of the sun, but on that side of the sun. That'll bake your noodle if you think about it. I like that. Do you know that I'm a fat man and I weigh a lot on the planet Earth, but if I was on Jupiter, I looked it up one time, I would weigh something like 16,000 pounds. You would, because the gravity of Jupiter is so much more than the gravity of the planet Earth. I would much rather be on Mars. I think on Mars, I weigh like 140 pounds or something like that. I'm digging those kinds of scales. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. This is Heavenly Happenings, and I do this every single month. And if you would like to see more of this kind of content, just look us up on YouTube, or you can go to my channel, which is odx.tv. Don't forget, I have a book on the subject of how the heavens declare the glory of God. I've got videos, I've got workbooks, the whole 9 yards. Look for all of that at troybrewer.com.
Just one of the many pieces of unique content you will only find on odx.tv. And from Pastor Troy, show me a pastor who does videos like that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I was raised in like all the moon stuff, like all that. I stayed away from it because I thought it was all bad, but the way that he interprets it and talks about how we can tell the signs of the times from the heavens is really cool, and it's super biblical. He backs it all up with scripture, which is so cool. And that whole series was just something that Pastor Troy wanted to start as like a hobby, just like, hey, this is his opportunity to geek out over what he loves, and people have been loving it. I mean, we have thousands and thousands of views on that every month. And we release a new one at the beginning of every month. So if you're an ODX member, you get it 5 days before the month. And then if you're not ODX member, it goes live on the first of every month on our YouTube. So that's just another little piece of the really cool content that we have for you guys at odx.tv. Now, while we were watching that, I got some text messages from Pastor Troy. We told you earlier in the show that he's at Blurry Creatures podcast. He recorded with them today. Check out these pictures. I am obsessed. So look at that little picture he's signing. It's like what do they call it? A caricature of himself. Which is so cool.
We need those.
I know, we need them. I immediately was like, can we get copies of those pictures? Those are incredible.
He's a cowboy hat, though. I don't mean to critique. I don't want to critique anyone.
For next time, they need to do the cowboy hat on him.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, he looks like he's having so much fun. And I think we've also got like a group shot of him with the Blurry Creatures guys.
Yeah, so
Look
good.
at that. That is so awesome. Man.
He's like grinning ear to ear.
That's so fun.
There's Pastor Brian.
Pastor Brian.
Whoa, hold on. That
Smacks. I love the Smacks.
He's
I got excited about that. Oh, wait, is he taller than Schwartz?
Holy.
Yeah, seriously. You know, Pastor Troy was probably teasing him about being a Nephilim as well. That's usually what he does. That's amazing. Man, I can't wait to watch that episode. I can't wait to hear
someone
it.
that stumbled upon this today.
Yeah, I know. If this is your first time, honestly, though, if this is your first time watching, this is a great representation of this tribe. Like, we talk about things that no one else talks about. We rescue kids all over the globe. It is very real. We rescue and we raise kids. We have rescued and raised over 11,000 kids in the past 30 years, which is wild.
And we rescue the rescuer.
Yes, we rescue the rescuer.
We train nations.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to engage, the blurry, the questions.
Yeah.
And I think for us as believers, when you follow Jesus, like, okay, some of this stuff is super interesting and we got questions that need answers.
Yeah.
And then also, Pastor Troy and his adventures with heavenly happenings and all the content on ODX. Like, I don't know, this was just like, so if this is your first time here, this is like, welcome. We're glad you're here. And this is very much who we are.
Yeah, it is who we are. And listen, tomorrow you have to tune in tomorrow because Pastor Troy, again, is going to be back from that filming, back from his time with Blurry Creatures to talk about all things blurry. It's going to be so good. You will not want to miss it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be a blurry day.
Yeah, it'll be a blurry day. I'll just be sitting back eting popcorn, listening to all their crazy
Bigfoot
stories.
Costume?
I don't have a Bigfoot. I thought
Taylor
you
had
did.
it.
Taylor, you have a Bigfoot costume? No Bigfoot costume over here. All right. Well, it's going to be good. It's going to be a great, great show tomorrow. And we're just so happy for everyone who has tuned in and want to give you one more opportunity if you're watching and want to get involved and so into the work that we're doing, rescuing kids all across the globe, being a Frontlines ministry, sending aid to people who need it in Texas, sending aid to our friends in Israel, literally all across the globe. We are constantly, there are so many people we partner with, not to mention people in our own backyard. Widows. There are widows that are a part of this church and we help support them since their husband or wife has passed away. And we do the thing. We help people. And I love that. And if you want to sow into that, if you want to get on board, listen, the reward is for you as well. It's for all those who partner with us. That spiritual reward is so tangible. It really is. And it's really, really awesome to be a part of this work. So please,
from Nashville.
Okay. Everyone be on your best behavior.
Yeah, chat.
Well, Pastor, I was just going to tell them how they can get involved and partner with us because throughout this whole program, they have been hearing the many things we do from heavenly happenings to rescuing kids to you being on Blurry Creatures to the counter.
BlurryCon.
BlurryCon. We've literally covered.
Heavenly happenings.
Yeah, we've covered it all. And I was just going to let you guys know, you can call the number on your screen, 877-413-0888. That's actually a 24-hour prayer line as well. So if there's something in your life that you need to pray for, you need someone to stand with you in agreement on, call that number on your screen right now. And that's our call center literally on the premises here. These are our people. They are trained. They are ready to speak with you, to pray with you, to believe with you, to encourage you. And also, if you want to sow into the ministry, they are there. They can take your donations. They can tell you more about the various things that we have going on within this house. Of course, you can also go to troybrewer.com and click on the give button, or you can snail mail to the address on your screen. Listen, no judgment here. We totally accept snail mail. Pastor Troy loves it. He literally, when people write him letters, by the way, like that all gets given to him. He gets it delivered in a box and he loves going through those. So he actually is one of those people who reads the messages that come in for him So if you feel it on your heart to write something, go ahead, do that. Send it to the address that was on your screen that we can get up on your screen again. There we go. See how that works? Taylor, you're just so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, we are going to end this episode showing you a commercial that just tells you a little bit more about the urgency in what we do. It highlights the need for what we do, rescuing kids all across the globe. But again, friends, do not miss tomorrow's show, as Pastor Troy and Ben and Schwartz will be fresh back from their Blurry trip on Blurry Creatures, and they're going to be talking about some of their favorite Blurry moments, which the Lord knows they have many stories to tell. Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So until next time, guys, we call you the head, not the tail, above and not beneath, and highly favored of the Lord. Take care, everyone. God bless.
Human trafficking, the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It's not just a global problem, it's our problem, and it's closer than you think. In just 4 years of open borders, our nation became a trafficking superhighway, resulting in over 350,000 kids just vanishing. It's time to say, not on our watch, not on our land, and not to our children. Our team of rescuers has spent the last 30 years rescuing and raising over 11,000 kids here in the U.S. and all over the world. We have over 51 safe homes and more than 4,000 children in our care right now. But we could have 10 times that. We just need your support. Please call now and join our team of rescuers. Call 877-413-0888 or go to troybrewer.com. Get in this fight today, because if we don't show up for these kids, nobody else is coming.